Alright, so guess I am just going to be showing you some of the editing I'm doing on Parkbench. Now, for those unaware, Parkbench is a game that we play in acting class where basically there's two actors. There's one starts off on a park bench, normal day, just a normal person just sitting there on the park bench doing whatever, maybe reading a book on their phone, whatever. Here we have Rafiq, student in class, and he's just on his tablet working on something. And what happens is a second actor walks up, or a second character comes up, and there's some kind of weird character, and they kind of are there to just annoy the person until the first actor leaves. In class, it's kind of a game. You got to think of a creative, polite excuse to leave, like, oh, I think I hear my mother calling, or, you know, I figured out I actually have to be at work today, so I gotta go. But we did that in class to where people got comfortable with it, and until we got out to actually go and film it in a park. So this is us filming Parkbench with Rafiq and Sharon. The opening shot, it's a wide establishing shot at the park, and it's blurry, and I don't know how this happened on the day of shooting, because we're very careful usually, and looking at this, it looks like everything's just out of focus, so I'm not sure how that happened. Next shot is nice and clear. By the way, this is shot on Canon T2i Full HD. There's that blurriness. So basically what I'm going to be able to do with this shot here is just try to sharpen it up as best I can. That's all. You know, it's one of those situations where the data is not there, so you cannot add data back. What I can do is just kind of sharpen the edges of things to just add a little more clarity, but it's out of focus. Just like if it's blown out, you can't bring that back, or if it's underexposed, like the blacks, you can't bring that back because the information is not there. So let's move forward and see what we got here.
Anybody sitting here, hon?
No, you can leave.
Okay. Figured a good-looking fella like you would probably have his girlfriend waiting.
No, thank you. No, not really.
I got 15 minutes. 15 minutes to myself. It's a zoo. I'm from the Piggly Wiggly. Oh, it's a zoo over there. I tell you, Mike.
So the way I have it broken down is each portion of the scene is a color. So if you look down here on the timeline, the first part of the scene is purple. This is the introduction. And then the second part is blue. So I make sure to separate those because I want to know. One of the things I like to do is grab the beginning and the end of whatever I'm working on. So the beginning scene or the ending scene, so I'll know what I have to make my way towards to end end whatever it is. And that, when you apply it to a smaller scale, so is grabbing the beginning and end of the beginning part of the scene. So that would be here, the intro, where you have your wide angle shot here, and then punching on your subject, and then you get your first glance at them together. Okay, and so the introduction is the purple part. It's important to understand the parts of the storytelling that's happening too, because there are things that happen in the introduction that don't happen when you get to the middle and when you get to your climax or rising action, versus when you reach the climax and then you're just resolving the scene. So every part of the whole thing I have basically color coded. So the first part is purple, second part is blue, third part is yellowish, looks like I have something there, then I go to green. So it has a few different parts where important things that happen in the story take place. And then my ending is going to be, I think, red. What I think I should do is do the beginning and ending in red. I think that makes sense. These are extras there. Got a few different. So as you can see, I've cut a few of these clips together. I'm looking to do a rough edit to have them all connect. So from here, this is Mary the deli lady. She works at the Piggly Wiggly. This is just a regular dude. He's like a university student or whatever, just working on his research paper.
Figured a good-looking fella like you was probably have his girlfriend waiting.
No, thank you. No.
So we get the point across that Rafik is, you know, humble, mild-mannered guy. He's just minding his business at the park, very quiet, and she is bringing some imbalance to his world, which is very stable until she comes. She's not so mild-mannered. She's polite, but she's very disruptive of what he's doing.
No, not really.
I got 15 minutes. 15 minutes to...
So the idea is she's going to disrupt what he's doing, so I want to look for specific clips that show that and emphasize that point whenever I need to. But right now, let me see how far we can get. So the purples.
Now it says...
So the next part is where she talks about Piggly Wiggly. It's where she works. I didn't know this was a real place, but apparently there's a place called the Piggly Wiggly, and it's a deli. Alright, let's just go right to the part where she starts to be annoying.
Oh, my dogs are barking. Let me tell you. Oh my goodness. This 15-minute break will do me a world of good. Ooh. Oh. 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 My God. Oh, that breeze is delicious. Nothing like a little break from work. I got 15 minutes and then it's back I go. It's a madhouse over there, I'm telling you. We got ham on sale this week. I mean, and have you had one of our hams? I'm not talking about what they do over at the ShopRite. That's a processed ham. You know? That ShopRite? Yeah, you don't want to go there. You know their ham is processed? Have you ever had the processed ham? Nasty, not our Jimmy. Oh,
Sorry,
let me
ma'am.
tell you.
So sorry, ma'am. I'm don't mean to cut you, but I'm studying right now. I got some tests I need to do. That's gonna be next week, so I'm studying right now. Sorry.
Sure, hon, sure. Yeah.
You can notice some differences in audio happening. You can hear the wind picking up here. You can hear the environment with the kids in the background. Those are normal park sounds, so that's okay. What we're going to watch out for is just times where they just suddenly come out of nowhere. We don't want that. We kind of want everything to kind of creep in and creep out unnoticeably. If you can notice things like that, then it's not good. We got to find a way to fade that in.
Yep, I'll just zip it. I'll just zip it. Yeah, here. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll see what the babies are up to on Facebook. Oh, yeah.
Good. You do that. That's good.
Also, I have some audio where his mouth isn't moving. That just means that I put a clip on top of another clip. Let me see. Go back. Alright. So that's the end of our blue section. I guess what defines the blue section as being the first part of our story after the introduction is just getting the idea of what a pain in the ass this lady's going to be. She just kind of doesn't realize she's being obnoxious while he's trying to get his work done.
Let me tell you. Oh, my goodness. This 15-minute break will do me a world of good. Ooh.
So you can see these clips on top here are the shots that show Rafik. They're reactionary. And then the bedrock of it I have is the wider shots with them both. And let's see. They basically have everything. These are like the masters. The masters are shot from the beginning to the end of the entire scene. So you can always go back to the master at any point in time, and it has the part of the story that you need. These shorter ones we'll call that coverage. These close-ups might have a shortage of Rafik close-ups. But let's see here. So you hear and see the master, the bedrock here. Even when it goes to Rafik, we're not using the audio from this clip. So when I click on these, there's not an audio track to go with it that lights up. When I click on the bedrock, you can see the audio is right there below it. Anytime you click a clip, everything that's connected should be highlighted as well. So I don't see any audios for any of these other clips, which means they're just kind of independent cutaways. So we're dealing with a kind of a situation where with this particular project, for whatever reason, we only got one master shot of him in this position here, this kind of frame. And it's a master, so it has his whole reaction to everything, but it really wasn't enough. We got plenty of Miss Mary here. We got her close-ups. Let me take a look at my second monitor here.
I appreciate it.
Oh, there it is.
So
It just
right
picked
here.
up by itself. Oh. Potty training time.
We got that. Got a wide two-shot of him. Kind of got an over her shoulder two-shot. We got her from his perspective. We have a lot more on her than we do of him. And it just might have just worked out that way with the timing on the day of shooting. But we just got to keep that in mind for when we're using these reaction shots. They're going to get old quick. So don't want to have these repetitive things happening, but just try to keep an eye on that.
Break will do me a world of good. Ooh. Oh.
Reaction here in the background, in the foreground of this master shot. It has to be consistent with the shot that we're going to show of him coming up. So when I go from here to here, the head placement is different because he's more looking down. He's looking down here too. It's not a big deal. So it's correct technically. The only thing that I would have an issue with is just the direction. There's like think of an arrow pointing where his eye line and sight line is. It's pointing down this way, going from left to right. We'll go here. It's still correct because it would be still pointing downward like this. It's just we went from an arrow like this to an arrow like this. It's kind of straight at us. That would be a little more correct if we started there from here. So if I went to the middle of this clip, it's a little more smooth. Nobody's really going to critique that. That's okay. Just being a little bit of a perfectionist. But you look for little differences that might stand out and get attention just because it's just not seamless. That might be one of those if I was really paying attention. But let's assume it's okay for now.
God. Ah, that breeze is delicious. Nothing like a little break from work. I got 50.
I kind of want to go because from the point where we start using Mary's single shot right here to when we finally cut away to Rafik over here, how many seconds is that? So we're at 34 seconds
The
now.
breeze is delicious.
Should have cut away to something already. So we're going from 34,
Nothing like a little break from work.
basically 44. That's 10 seconds. Now, a rule of thumb when it comes to editing and cinematography is the human eye absorbs every bit of detail in any shot you can think of. within 12 seconds. So any particular shot that has more than 12 seconds of screen time on this timeline or on the screen becomes redundant, because after 10 seconds of that shot, go here and then we come back here, there's no new information being absorbed by the eye. And that's an issue, because what happens when we get all the information is we start to get bored with this frame, and then the human eye starts to travel.
We got ham on sale this week. I mean, and have you had one of our hams? I'm not talking about what they do over at the shop rate.
So whenever you have a situation where you have way more than like 12 seconds of a single shot, it usually means you don't have enough footage, or whatever you're doing should be really, really, really short. So I would like to be able to shift to cut from this to something else to take some time off of this shot, so that it's not as boring quickly. It's okay for now, because this is the first time we're seeing this single medium shot here, but I don't want it to get old too quickly. So I want to put something right in the middle here, a different thing to cut to. So when I go to my shot bank over here, need something that'll show them both. So she's kind of in the middle of yawning. Let's see if we got another yawning shot somewhere. And what were we coming from? We're coming from this angle and this. We can go back to this briefly. Not this, and this. So we can go from here back to here just briefly. That's an option. Let's go ahead and just assume that that will be the right choice. We'll go ahead and find that in our media band over here. Media browser, I mean. And I'm looking for yawning specifically. This is too far with this shot. It doesn't have the yawning in it. Let's go back one here. Just give our shot a second to load from the yellow screen. There we go. Let's play our shot.
My dogs are barking.
Okay, so I know it's going to have the yawning because that came after this whole my dogs are barking thing. Let's see here.
Delicious. Oh, my God. Oh, is that breeze delicious?
Okay.
My God. Ah, that breeze is delicious.
Can I get an in this shot though? Alright, this could work. So what I'm going to do is curtail this shot right here. Just go right to where she has her mouth open. Let's drag that and bring it on in. Shot's a little long, so I'm going to have to cut it just as well. Cut that down the sides. I do not want the audio, so I'm going to, there we go, delete that. So I'm going to keep the audio from my base shot there.
Nothing like a little break from work.
So I have an issue where in this shot her head is turning away at the end. So what I can do is let's try to bring it over earlier. Let's see if that works.
Cheese is delicious. Nothing like a little break from...
So let's see. Kind of feel like we can make this work if we trim it.
Delicious.
I have motion in this shot that I want to cut to, but none when she's yawning in the one before.
Nothing like a little...
I'll cut it here. Let's see what happens.
Nothing like a little...
Doesn't quite work. Alright, well, before I give up, let's see. Let's try the shot right before it. See if there's a yawning in this.
Alright, let's get audio.
Maybe you can help.
I don't think I can find a clip that will fit that just right. Maybe they're from this angle though. Let's see.
I gotta tell you, it's hopping down at that Piggly Wiggly.
I think we can get a yawn in this clip.
Oh, is that freeze delicious?
Just not in this shot.
Oh, I needed that. Yeah, I needed that. I gotta tell you, it's hopping down at that pig.
You know, if I don't
Oh,
get a
is that
yawn,
freeze delicious?
I may get a turning back to him.
Yeah.
The only issue is that has to happen really quickly. And I don't want to have a shot just to have it in for half a second.
Oh. Oh, is that freeze delicious? Oh, I needed that.
So what I'm going to try to do is extract the head turn from this shot and add it to our timeline.
Yeah, I needed that.
So right there is when she turns back to him. So I'm going to curtail it there, bring my cursor back a little bit. Start it there. I'm going to drag only the video this time. I'm going to put it right after our other clip. Let's see how it works when I just drag it on and drop it.
Nothing like a little break from work. I got...
It kind of fits. Look at that. So I'll have to polish this up a little bit. Let's go ahead and...
That freeze is delicious.
Sorry, let me resave that. Okay. So the only thing I don't like is there's no motion here. And there's motion here. So maybe I can cut it in a little to get rid of some of that motion. See what happens. I'm just looking to see if it's a smoother cut motion-wise. Just noticing all the motion that's happening in the shot. Let's just see if it's less noticeable.
Nothing like a little...
A little bit. Let's see what happens when we move those both back a little bit.
Nothing like a little break from work.
You know, we can get away with it. Question is it necessary?
Delicious.
I'll cut it in even more. See what happens if I do that. Maybe drag it back a little bit. See what happens.
Nothing like a little break from work.
I have 2 head turns. I don't like that, but let me pull it, undo that movement. It's not working like that. It's gotta come before the mouth close. I have a couple issues to work out here, so let me try working with this one clip first. See if I get in the right place. I think I'm going to get rid of the mouth closing by dragging it over. Just a little more. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of the space between the two. So now it looks like I have to extend this other clip because I don't have a ha visually.
Nothing like a little break from work.
Okay, so I covered the ha a little bit. Let's see if I can get rid of the double head turn. Let's cut it there, see what happens.
Nothing like a little break from work.
Seems a little less, seems a little more smooth. Let's try that again. Let's pay really close attention. Let's blow it up on a big screen.
Nothing like a little break from work. I got.
You know, I kind of think that the ha should be in this. Should use this shot because it's a little more off screen, which would mean we would have to extend this shot, which started earlier. Let's see what happens if we do that. Too much. Let's try this. It's not working. Let's put it back how it was, see if that works better. You could get away with it, but bring that back over in this other mirror here.
Nothing like a little break from work.
I think we can get away with it. for now. I think we can come back later if we have more time.
Breeze is delicious. Nothing like a little break from work.
So now let's look at when she starts talking.
Nothing like a little break from work.
When we just start from there, it doesn't seem like an issue at all.
Nothing like a little break from work. I got 15 minutes and then it's back I go. It's a madhouse over there.
Yeah, okay, now it seems like there's not quite enough time.
Nothing like a little...
If we cut that a little bit, let's see what happens.
Nothing like a little break from work.
See the whole thing.
Nothing like a little break from work. Nothing like a little break from work. I got...
Sorry to
This is
replay it over
delicious.
and over, but you kind of have to do this until your brain, because your brain is focused on the little parts each time, so you kind of have to keep doing it.
Nothing like a little break...
So I think it'll be better longer, so I'll undo that shortening,
Nothing like a little break from work.
and I'm going to ignore the fact that the head turns twice,
Nothing like a little break from work.
for now. Now, as far as when we cut to Rafik,
I got
I think it should, this space just doesn't seem
nothing like
quite
a
long
break from
enough.
work.
We're talking about going from, let's see, 42 seconds to
Nothing like a little break from work.
43.
I got
So it's about a second and a half long.
nothing like a little break from work.
Maybe move it over just a little. Let's try that.
Nothing like a little break from work. I got 15 minutes and then it...
So I feel like we don't need to see her turn her head back. We only need to see her looking at Rafik. So right about here, we'll take as much as we can. Let's move this right back over to that line. Let's play it and see how it feels.
Nothing like a little break from work. I got 15...
This is literally as much time as we can give this little section in the middle there. Alright, we'll go from
minutes
here.
and then it's back I go. It's a madhouse over there, I'm telling you. We got ham on sale this week. I mean, and have you had one of our hams? I'm not talking about what...
Okay, I'm ignoring the background sound for now. So, we'll go from the first cut to Rafik's
Back I go.
close-up.
It's a
He's looking over.
madhouse over there.
He's being polite.
I'm telling you.
She's continuing to ramble on.
We got ham on sale this week.
Okay, now he wants to go back to his work. That's what we're accomplishing by using this shot.
I mean, and have you had one
And he starts working.
of our hams? I'm not talking about what they do over at the shop right. That's...
Okay, so now I have this shot here where he's just staring because he's annoyed. But in the other shot, he was typing. So it will be a little disruptive to not have him typing in the shot and then stop, rather than going from this to this where he stopped completely.
I'm not talking about what they do over at the shop right. That's a processed ham. You know? That shop...
I can get away with it if I have typing sounds
I'm not talking
that stop,
about right. That's
and your brain will kind of know he stopped typing.
talking about what they do over at the shop right. That's a processed ham.
Or if I just go where we kind of give new information so fast, we make the person forget that he was typing by having him look over. So if I start this shot from right here, where you only have enough time to see that it's a close-up and that he's looking over.
Shop right. That's a processed ham. You know? That shop
So let's play that a few seconds and see how it goes.
house over there, I'm telling you. We got ham on sale this week. I mean, and have you had one of our hams? I'm not talking about what they do over at the shop right. That's a processed ham. You know? That shop right? Heh, you don't want to go there.
Okay, so my only issue is it could be a little bit earlier. Let's see what happens.
I'm not talking about what they do over at the shop rate. That's a processed ham. You know? That shop rate? Heh, you don't want to...
Okay, I like where it starts, but I have this little chunk here.
You know? That shop...
Originally, this was covering up the fact that we were going from here to here. I like this shot because we have a unwilling participant in our thing, adding a little production value. What if I extended it? Let's see how that plays.
I'm not talking about what they do over at the shop rate. That's a processed ham. You know? That shop rate? Heh, you don't...
So it'll work if we just extend it. I just don't like extending it. But I don't like having that really short piece right there. What if I cut it in half? See what happens there. We'll compromise.
And have you had one of our hams? I'm not talking about what they do over at the shop rate. That's a processed ham. You know? That shop rate? Heh, you don't...
That kind of works. Question of, do I want to switch between these shots that often?
I'm not talking about what they do over at the shop rate. That's a processed ham. You know? That shop rate? Heh, you don't want to go there. You know their ham is processed? Have you ever had the processed ham?
Okay, so I can leave that as is for now. I'm not really going to nitpick that. At least now. My goal is to connect all these
Have you ever had
shots.
the processed ham?
And we're having the expression on his face portray the change, so he's going from being polite to being tolerant.
Processed ham. You know? That shop rate? Heh, you don't want to go there. You know their ham is processed? Have you ever had the processed ham? Nasty. Not our Jimmy.
Sorry,
let me
ma'am.
tell you.
I'm so sorry, ma'am. Don't mean to cut you, but I'm studying right now. I got some tests I need to do. That's gonna be next week, so I'm studying right now. Sorry.
Sure, hon, sure. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so needless to say, this entire area here is too long to be visual, just looking at this shot, so we need something to cut to.
Don't mean to cut you.
A reaction shot from her would be perfect. Let's see if we can get a good reaction.
You know what? I'll check Facebook. I haven't seen the grandbabies in 20 minutes.
Ready?
Okay. So, I gotta tell you, it's a zoo down at the Miss Hams. Let me tell you. Real good. You should stop in. I'll give you a sample. You'll love it.
Ma'am.
You'll love it.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Can you...
Okay, so right about here, she's having a visual reaction to what he's telling her, which is that she is disturbing him.
Please keep it down. I'm trying to study. I got some
It's also very quiet, which I like.
studying to do.
Oh,
I
sure.
got research that is doing.
I'm gonna cut it right there. Just let's use that. I'm just gonna take that, bring just the video. I'll just drop it right here. I don't know when it starts, but let's try it.
Jimmy.
Sorry,
let me tell
ma'am.
you.
So sorry, ma'am. Don't mean to cut you, but I'm studying right now. I got some tests I need to do. That's gonna be next week, so I'm studying right now. Sorry.
Sure, hon.
That kind of works. I'm gonna drag it over because I heard a huh, her breathe in, and it seemed like it was almost perfect. I'm gonna just go a little bit later and see if it lines up the way that I think it will.
Studying right now. I got some tests.
No, I think I drive in the wrong direction. There we go. Let's see here.
I'm studying right now. I got some tests.
So the video is late, so it does have to come earlier. Let's try that.
cut you, but I'm studying right now. I got some tests I need to do. That's gonna be next week, so I'm studying right now. Sorry.
Sure, hon, sure.
Okay. So I kind of need audio to go with this thing that she's doing here. So what I'm going to do is drag the audio and video this time. What we're going to end up doing is cutting out the part where he's talking twice.
I'm studying right now. I got some down. I'm trying to study. I got some studying.
Let me mute the first track, which is what I'm going to use.
Please keep it down. I'm trying to study. I got some studying to do.
Sure.
So the part where she says sure.
I got a research that.
So the difficult part is I cannot take out the isolator voice because they're talking at the same time.
Please keep it down. I'm trying to study. I got some studying to do. I got a research that is doing.
So maybe I can use that instead of this. Right where she says sure.
Sure.
Let's see what happens if I just drop it in like that. And unmute this first track.
I got some tests I need to do. I got a research that is doing. Sorry. A research. I got a research that is doing. Sorry.
So I don't need after oh sure.
I got a research that is doing. I got a research that is doing. Sorry.
It's not gonna work unless I go back over here.
I am studying. I am doing research, and I feel very pressured. Can you please stop?
Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Oh, there it is.
So I think I'm gonna get the audio that I need.
We're having a
And that's from a different part. Okay. So we might have to make a choice here.
I need to do. I got a research.
So we're gonna cut this, bring this back in.
I got a research. Studying right now. Sorry.
And what if I fade it a little bit, just to maybe we'll see how much we can get away with. It's cheating.
Sure. I'm studying right now. Sorry.
Oh, it's gonna be really close.
I got a research. I'm studying right now. I'm studying right now. I'm studying right now. Sorry.
Just try that again.
I'm studying right now. Sorry. I'm studying right now. Sorry. I'm I'm studying right now. Sorry. Sure. I'm studying right now. Sure. I'm studying right now. Sorry. Sure. I'm studying right. Sure. I'm studying right now. Sure.
So, only other thing I can do is fade it down. As if she was like, oh, you.
Sure. I'm studying right now. Sure. I'm studying right now.
Let's see what that does.
Sure. I'm studying right now. 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 Sorry. 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 So I'm studying right now. Sorry. Next week, so I'm studying right now. Sorry. Next week, so I'm studying right. Next week, so I'm studying right now. Sorry.
Sure, hon.
So, it's a little trick that I've played. But
It's gonna be next week, so I'm studying. I got some tests. That's gonna be next week, so I'm studying right now. Sorry. Test I need to do. That's gonna be next week, so I'm studying right now. I got some tests I need to do. That's gonna be next week, so I'm studying right now. Sorry.
let's try that.
That's gonna be next week, so I'm studying right now. Sorry. Right now, I got some tests I need to do. That's gonna be next week, so I'm studying right now. Sorry.
Okay, so what I have now is a difference in volume. See if I match it, if it gets better.
Test I need to do. That's gonna be next week, so I'm studying
So let's go up
next
here.
week, so
Bring it down a little bit.
test I need to do. That's gonna be next week, so that's gonna
need to fade this in with the power.
That's gonna be next week. That's gonna be next week. That's gonna be next week. That's gonna be next week.
Sure.
That's gonna be next. That's gonna be next week. That's gonna be next week. Be next week. That's gonna be next week's show. That's gonna be next week's show. That's gonna be next week. That's gonna be next week. So I'm studying right now. That's gonna be next week. So I'm studying right now.
So I can kind of get away with that. I can fix it up a little bit later. So for now, this is all I'm going to do. Kind of pick up where I left off tomorrow. I have not combined all the clips yet, but render into out. Benefits of having a fast computer. If you're watching this and you are wondering what kind of machine you can get yourself an i7 processor, the highest generation of i7 you can get, 8 gigabytes of RAM at least, and a solid state hard drive, and an external drive to put all the big files on. Solid state's going to get your computer to run faster with Windows. But yeah. Good little session here. Alright, gotta go to work tomorrow.